Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Ryan Allen Bell Show. I'm here with my good friend Vital Brad. What's
Hey,
up,
hey,
bro?
what's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Dude, yeah, I'm super pumped that you're here because you were on my podcast with the Home Based Business podcast like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Wow, lots
dude,
changed.
crazy, bro. Yeah, so I think for this, really what we're doing is we're painting a picture, like showing people how to break out of the matrix, number one. And my belief, and a lot of people's belief, is like we're entering the golden age. And the way that people are actually breaking out of the matrix and entering the golden age is through personal branding. And so I think it would be cool to kind of go into like your come up story, just your rebrand, how you built a very successful YouTube and kind of like the fall of that, and then like rebuilding just kind of your whole entire story. And then as we go through your story, we could just drop some like golden nuggets for everyone listening.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it, bro. So uh, be like, I'll kind of set the stage how I met Brad. So I was on YouTube in I think maybe I don't know what year it was, like 2019, 2020, and I was doing like deep research on like the monetary system. I was like, okay, like what's going on with the monetary system? Like just exploring crypto, exploring like just different currencies around the world, and they came across your YouTube channel and you had like 20,000 subscribers or something like that, bro. Do you remember how many you had?
Yeah, I was when I actually got shut down, we'll get into that. I almost broke 25,000. I was like right under.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you had I was very impressed by your YouTube brand. I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome. This is a guy I definitely want to learn from." And then yeah, searched you up on Instagram, connected, we built a relationship, and now we're doing business together, which is awesome. But yeah, so that's kind of setting the stage how we met. But yeah, maybe we could go into like the come up of your YouTube and kind of like your story since then, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And so I come from a sales background. So I went, started right out of high school, went into door-to-door sales, did like home security systems, and I ended up getting into call center sales, supplement sales back in 2007. And I sold for several years. I'd worked my way up into this company, became like a team lead, then I became manager, then I became the sales trainer, then I was doing all the hiring, and I had like, 10 managers under me, and I was running about 150 employees, and things were going really well. I had, success in the corporate world in my eyes at that time, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't super passionate about what I was doing. And kind of behind the scenes too, my personal life, I've struggled with addiction since my teenage years. And I was abusing drugs and alcohol and partying and just in kind of a bad, shaky place. But I did see the vision of YouTube, and I saw the vision of personal brands. And there was some drama going on at work, and I kind of had a mental breakdown, to be perfectly honest. And I got in my car, I left my phone, and I hit the road. And I left. I disappeared. And I ended up traveling on the road for about a month, and I went missing. I didn't approach it the correct way.
Yeah.
And there's like missing people reports. And really, I was just traveling, and I had picked up a camera, and I went on this mission of like escape the corporate box, and I wanted to create my YouTube channel and create content. And I just went about it in hindsight the wrong way, but I had the right thing in mind, I guess I would say. Well, anyway, fast forward, I get back from my trip, let everyone know I'm okay. My company actually, they're like, "Oh, are you ready to come back to work?" And by that point, I was kind of like, "Nah, I'm gonna work on my YouTube channel." And they're like, "Okay, well, good luck,"
Yeah.
And so living off of savings, and just started creating videos, started trying to find my niche, and yeah, I ended up falling into like world currency, like our monetary system. Got into cryptocurrency, got into politics, current news, and just stayed consistent, man. I just was posting regular videos, started learning the skills as I went, and I had over 500 videos before, I got shut down.
Wow.
But yeah, really kind of fast forward. Yeah, when you found my channel, we connected. It was shortly after that. We were coming into the 2020 election. things were just getting really, really strange, and I was
Yeah.
voicing my opinion, and somewhere along the lines I ticked somebody off that had a different opinion, because all of a sudden I got like a community guideline strike, and they said, we're banning your channel for 2 weeks. I was like, oh, well, I don't understand. Okay, I guess I am on their platform. Okay, I'll watch what I say. 2 weeks go by, I post another video, and right when I post it, boom, strike 2, community guidelines. And I was very careful in that video to not cross any lines.
Yeah.
Strike, I'm banned for 2 more weeks. Or no, that was a month after the second, so I had to go a month without posting a video. And then as soon as my account was going again, I posted a third video, strike 3.
Yeah.
And they permanently banned my channel, shut down. I lost 500 videos, lost all my subscribers.
My gosh.
Yeah, I was pretty devastated.
Yeah, no, for sure. Dude, crazy. Anything else you want to share on that? Or can I ask a couple questions?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much, without all the nitty gritty details in it. But yeah, I definitely saw the vision of the personal brand. I was doing YouTube full time for a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
No other income. That was my full-time job. I was making money off of the ads that play before the videos. I was a part of 2 network marketing companies that I had teams built, so I was making revenue off those. I had a lot of my videos had affiliate offers, and so I'd occasionally get sales from like Amazon affiliates, so I was not living a luxurious life, but I was enough to be taken care of. I truly felt like I was living my dream. This is what I want to do. My time freedom. I was working out every day, dived into content I cared about, and it all got taken away. And
crazy. So I think the lesson in that is, and people always share this, is like you want to build your own email list because they can never take that away from you. So that's something I've been working on, something I intend on doing. Is building my email list, but it's just like you got to over 500 videos on YouTube. Do you know how long it took you to get to 500 videos?
Yeah, I was posting videos since end of 2015, really started 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years.
Whoa, bro.
Yeah. It was not, I had someone ask me, one of my buddies from high school, and I'll never forget this. He said, bro, dude, what's the trick? How do you, and I was like, man, I just started, years ago, and I stayed consistent.
Yeah.
And, so
success really is just about outlasting everyone else.
So true.
Yeah. And so you did that in the YouTube space. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm just shocked at like, you just lost it after 5 years of building,
Yeah. The point you made about the email list, huge takeaway, and I caught on to that when I got the strike. I said, shoot, they have total control over my platform. I started an email list, and I was kind of working through other networks. I ended up getting about 600 emails collected that I was able to. I started a new channel, and I was able to blast out to them, and I had a couple thousand subscribers right away.
Yeah.
But yeah, huge takeaway. Yeah, be building your email list, in the background, because they can't take that from you.
Yeah, because if you have an email list, all right, so like just to take a step back, is like essentially you broke out of the matrix and you created like your own golden age type of era for yourself during like the highs of your YouTube channel. And it was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. That was a way for you to bridge the gap between like, the matrix and breaking out of the matrix. But now it's just like, for those listening, is like, are you able to create an email list? Because that is, I think, such a pillar to help you break out of the matrix as well. And so we have 600 people on your email list right now. Do you still stay in touch with them?
I haven't been. No, I'm kind of re-waking everything up, starting to post content again.
Yeah.
I use Constant Contact. That's the provider I use. Still have access to them, and it's something that didn't get taken away, at least.
Okay, yeah, so I have really good questions, bro. Okay, so when did you start Vital Brad? Because that's your brand name, your personal brand name. When did that become a thing?
Yeah, that was end of 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of
dude, so you're like 10 years into Vital Brad right now.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So now what's interesting is for a lot of people who, let's say, get to 20, like build a huge brand like that, and then overnight it's taken away. Sometimes they never make a comeback. Like that could take them out for the rest of their life. And it did for you for a season, a temporary season. But now you're making a big comeback in a big way with your personal brand with Vital Brad. So I would like to chat more on that. Is like once it was taken away from you, like what happened after that in terms of like the fall and then the rise again?
Yeah, love it. So, the way that I can look at my experience with this whole YouTube channel is I had built my foundation on sand. I did
Mm,
not have a solid game plan. I was flying by the seat of my pants. I was using drugs and alcohol. My lifestyle wasn't solid.
yeah,
I was winging it. I didn't really plan as much as I should. The success that I had, I'm grateful for, but looking back on it, it's like, learned a lot.
yeah,
And yeah, when it got shut down, right away, I restarted Vital Brad 2.0
mm-hmm.
and started going through the motions again. But yeah, I was just disheartened. I
Yeah,
kind of fell into a depression. And kind of along the same signs, I was really big into crypto. I was starting to do some crypto, leverage trading, ended up liquidating my life savings, left me
yeah,
with just a couple $1,000s to like, what am I going to do? I had to get a job,
yeah,
ended up
dude.
working a job for 5 years.
My gosh.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
job that honestly I did not enjoy.
yeah, no, for sure. Not many people enjoy jobs, bro.
Yeah. So I felt like I was living the life to all of a sudden the sand that I was building on crumbled away and I lost everything, from living my dream to back at square one, oh, hey, corporate world. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm back.
Dude, that's crazy. So you like broke out of the Matrix and then you had to come back to the Matrix, dude.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, look, kind of embarrassing, but yeah, I'm grateful for all the lessons. But yeah, you'd think that I could just pick myself up by my bootstraps and just keep going, keep making content, but I just mentally broke
Yeah.
down. I quit. I gave up. Okay, well, it didn't work. Oh well.
Okay, so you go back to a job and you have the YouTube. I wouldn't even call it a failure because it was a massive success. I would just call it temporary defeat.
Mm-hmm.
So you experienced this with YouTube. Now, where was the defining moment or like the line in the sand moment when you're like, you know what, I'm gonna rebuild Vital Brad and like do this thing again?
Yeah, a couple things actually. One, heartbreak. I was
Mm,
with a girl for about 4 years. Kind of a lot of the time that she was with me right at the end of my YouTube channel. It fizzled out. And then I just kind of like, okay, started on the relationship and then having a heartbreak. She met someone else and, I was just
dang.
kind of, yeah. And so that was like, okay, what am I going to do? I was like, okay, let me work with what I know. And I knew I was passionate about that lifestyle. I experienced it. I just knew it was going to take some effort getting back into it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that truly changed my whole life around is my sobriety. It was finally getting
Amazing.
clean, getting sober, getting a clear head on my shoulders,
Yeah.
developing discipline. Um,
Yeah.
so this has been a recent, today's actually, I still count my days. I'm day 276 sober.
Wow,
Yeah,
bro.
completely.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Completely
Yeah.
different path. I just know if anyone's struggling with addiction or those types of things, that recovery is possible. So yeah, stick with it. But yeah, those are kind of heartbreak and then yeah, getting sober. Now I'm fired up to get after it
Wow.
again.
Wow, bro. You have one of the best transformation stories I've ever seen in my life. And one of my mentors, he always says is like, we never have business problems. We only have personal problems.
Mm,
And our personal problems is what causes our business problems. And like your two things that you just shared, heartbreak and sobriety, like those were personal things that took you out.
mm-hmm.
And then you've recovered and you're like, okay, now it's time to you're rebuilding your foundation with your personal life, which by default allows you to rebuild your business pillars too.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
It's this time around again. So grateful for the learning and the lessons and the skills I learned. This time I'm strategically approaching it, kind of planning, coming up with, the niche, the market, the avatar, kind of getting more specific on what I'm targeting.
Mm-hmm.
getting away from some of the things I was previously in before. Just, yeah, this second time around, there's so much that I've learned.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. Yeah, let's say, because this podcast attracts so many different types of people who are just trying to bridge the gap, like out of the matrix into the golden age. Let's say there's someone on here right now who is struggling with sobriety. What is your best piece of advice for that? Because I feel like you definitely won in that area.
Yeah, no. Biggest thing that helped me, man, was I had to join a group, a 12-step group, and they're all over. Look it up like
Yeah.
your local Alcoholic Anonymous or Narcotic Anonymous or
Mm-hmm.
Addiction Recovery Program. I had to surround myself with people
Mm.
going through it, the support, because you go through these steps, and these steps are designed to help you, turn to a higher power to help you with this, and then also the support of the community, and then
Mm.
also seeing other people have success gave me that hope that it was possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say anyone struggling with addiction, yeah, find support. There's groups I can always refer you as well. There's online programs, but they're free.
Yeah.
So yeah, find some support would be the biggest thing, but it's night and day different being sober, man.
Dude, 100%, bro. Yeah, it's interesting. Like for those of you who are listening and like, take like zoom out, take a bird eye view on your life right now. And usually what's preventing you from getting to your next step is a personal challenge that you're having, and like take, some inspiration from what Brad is sharing right now. Is like, okay, what can I do to, improve my identity essentially is what we're getting down to is
Mm.
like your identity is what caused you to build a world-class YouTube, and kind of like when that kind of fell apart, and then addiction is maybe like your identity was kind of like you're trying to figure out your identity, and now you went and you recovered and reestablished your relationship with God. You said we're both believers, so amen to that, bro. And surround yourself with people who've found their identity, right? And they're rock solid, and then it's like now you've rebuilt such a foundational identity that you could build on top of.
Yeah, with identity, about a year ago, I watched a video, I think maybe even you sent it to me,
Yeah.
about redefining my identity. And I took time and I got
Mm.
a poster board and I wrote my identity, and I wrote 20 or 30 or 40 different things that I saw myself in the future as, 100% sober, son of God, long distance runner, a 7-figure earner, all these
Yeah.
things. And then I would look at it, hung it on my wall, and I'd look at it regularly and kind of got caught up in life. And I actually looked at it the other day, and it was so amazing how unconsciously I could, yep. I'm kind of like seeing, because I defined that identity, there's a lot of things coming into alignment because I decided, a year ago, the identity that I wanted to step into. So yeah, very powerful exercise to take time and redefine your
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah, dude, you could make a whole entire like series on that called Vital Identity, bro.
Taking notes.
Dude, yeah, let's go. All right, so let's kind of pivot a little bit. I think it's amazing that you're reestablishing your brand. Vital Brad is making the biggest comeback I've ever seen in my life. Let's kind of future pace is okay. Like in the past, you built the YouTube for 5 years. Like, what's kind of like your vision within the next 3 to 5 years? Number one for Vital Brad, but also for like our world, man, our economy, the golden age, like everything that you've seen happening with like personal branding, entrepreneurship, the internet, like yeah, kind of like your view of the future, your lens.
Yeah, so I mean, with technology advancing, AI becoming a thing, my job that I have right now, a customer sales job, is potentially threatened by AI, which a
Mm-hmm.
lot of industries are potentially experiencing that. And I get it. AI is awesome. I use it daily. And personal branding is something that we can create now and actually use AI and its capabilities and its tools to help build our brand, to create content, to keep us organized like never before, to come up with ideas. So yeah, creating a personal brand right now is something that, I say potentially can't be taken away. I had the experience where it was, but I am coming back, so just don't quit. But yeah, I think it was you who said Bitcoin is going to X in the next 10 years, but personal brands will X in the next 10 years.
Yeah. One of my mentors said that.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think it's, there's so much possibility with having a following, not only monetarily, we can capitalize on, products we believe in or ebooks or courses or coaching or just the content in general, or even just being a positive light in this world, just being an influence, just having a voice and, sharing and serving others. So I think everyone should have a personal brand.
Yeah.
Everyone has something to share.
Well, it's like everyone already has a personal brand. And so whatever you have like on social media, however you like represent yourself when you're in person, offline, is like you already have this personal brand that the world sees you as, right? And it's like, okay, now that we have even this like very unconscious personal brand online and offline, how can we be very intentional about it moving forward? Because all of us have a personal brand, whether it's just your name on the internet, And so, yeah, for you actually have one of the best personal brands I've ever seen. Vital Brad is because you could take Vital Brad and you could create so many different like pillars of just content that you're interested in, that you're great at. And you can make so much content, like even on your YouTube, your TikTok, your Instagram. And maybe we could talk about that a little bit. Is you started Vital Brad 10 years ago, and you're still building it and you're refining it. Like how did you get to a point where you developed this brand for yourself, Vital Brad? Because I feel like if people can model that, that will really set them up for success for sure.
Yeah, no, great question. Consistency, really, when you first come up with anything, Vital Brad, to me that it sounded, I was really questioning it. It just, I was unsure, and it just kind of went with it. Just take that leap of faith, take that step. Anything is going to seem strange or funny or weird, until it's not, And yeah, now, Vital Brad to me sounds like a household name, but
yeah, no, for sure it is. Well, we were at an event and like our friends were calling you Vital Brad. They don't even call you Brad. Like I don't think I've ever called you Brad, bro. I always call you Vital Brad.
Yeah,
so it definitely is a household name.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I think just the story behind Vital Brad is interesting. I was actually I needed a name for Call of Duty on PlayStation.
Nice, bro.
And so then I was like, oh, I'll use this for YouTube too. And then
that's crazy, bro. And okay, so that's actually a big lesson I think is you Call of Duty, like because I was a huge gamer. Even at heart, like I would still love to get back into gaming. It's just like that name came from like this deep passion that you had for gaming, right? And so I think the lesson is like we want to make we don't want to fake our personal brand. We want it to literally be someone that we are deep down. And I think that's why it's stuck with you for 10 years and you're refining it is because, dude, like at its core, it's like who you are. It's part of your identity, And so it's just like, yeah, if we can make personal branding and what we're creating just part of our identity, that's what helps us like persevere through the years to keep developing it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had someone ask me the other day what Vital Brad meant. Why? And I was talking about the vital life and some of the things that are in development. And I got to think about it for a little bit because it did kind of just happen, but I realized it does align with my life experience. And vital to me is I guess to a degree, life or death. It's
Mm.
vital. It's so, so
Mm.
important.
Mm.
And when I was trapped in my addiction, when I was in those chains and I truly
Mm.
couldn't function, I
Mm-hmm.
truly, like, I was in survival mode, just trying to get by, trying to stay afloat, trying to just make it through a day, and then when start running low on whatever I needed, worrying about where I was going to get my next fix. And,
Mm.
you know, and so kind of what I've learned and developed over these years is these daily habits, these small routines or rules that are so vital
Mm.
to freedom, to being
Yeah.
able to function, to being able to thrive. And it has been such a journey to get from where I was at my low to now. But I've just kind of learned that, the things we do in life, the little things make a difference and they
Yeah.
matter. They're
Yeah.
vital. So, yeah.
Man. Yeah. Well, I was an EMT for 6 years,
Mm.
working the 911 system, and we
Mm-hmm.
were taught to always track the vital signs because it is life and death,
Mm-hmm.
man. Man, I love that, bro. It's just like now you have like these vital tips I've been seeing you post,
Yeah.
and you're creating like your these pillars to the vital life. It's just like, okay, it's like, if I feel like what's happening is you've identified for yourself like these core areas that make or break you in terms of your success, Yeah, so good. Yeah. Anything else you want to share on that?
Yeah, no, it's interesting over these last 276 days of sobriety, having the small disciplines every day. And actually, I do recommend for anyone 75 Hard, which you
Yeah.
got me involved in,
Yes,
has
sir.
been absolutely life changing for me.
And
To build that discipline, those little key things every day to cross them off. And now I've kind of got my vital list that includes many more things.
yeah.
I just feel so much more fulfilled when I have that purpose of things I want to accomplish every day, even if they're small things. Like, I have a goal on there, do 1 push-up a day. And every day I get down, I can do my 1 push-up a day. I always end up doing like at least 10,
Yeah. Yeah.
but just do my 1 push-up a day, cross it off the list. Great. Make my bed, I get up. But yeah, just having these little daily tasks that seem insignificant actually do compound. And looking
Yeah.
back 276 days from now, doing all these little things, and it's like I'm on a completely different path than I was, back then. So
Man.
yeah, just the little daily tasks make a huge difference.
Yeah, for those that haven't done 75 Hard, I highly recommend it. Brad and I did 75 Hard at the beginning of the year, and we started with like 56 people committed, and I think we finished with like 3 or 4 of us. It actually takes a big commitment for someone to follow through on it for 75 days. And then you start doing phases. Are you
Mm-hmm.
still in it, bro? Are you still doing the phases?
Yeah. So I'm
Oh
actually, yeah. So I did 75 hard straight, no fails. It was amazing. I went straight into phase 1, which I actually loved even more
yeah.
because it added cold showers. It added, other tasks, writing in my journal, making my bed. It added these extra things, did that for 30 days. And then I had a group of friends that wanted to do 75 hard. So I started over again the next day after that. And then, yeah, I'm on phase 2 right now, but I haven't been so adamant on completing it straight through. I'll
Yeah.
fail, and then I'll start back at day 1. And then I'll go 10 days, and I'll fail, and I'll start back
Yeah.
at day 1. And then I'll go
Okay.
7 days. So I'm still doing the tasks, but just because I love it. If I have days that I don't do it, I feel off. I feel,
Wow.
yeah. So,
Dude, that's crazy. You've gone half the year,
Mhm.
all of 2025 in 75 hard mode.
yeah.
Dude, insane.
Yeah, I've been running a lot this year. I've been training for marathons, and I just looked at my miles. I'm at like 940 miles for the year. It's like an
Yeah.
average of 5 miles a day for every
Yeah.
day this year. So I'm not
Yeah.
normally a runner. Definitely something new.
Crazy. Yeah, you have such a great comeback story, bro. I love that we did this because for people listening, like any of the listeners is like, maybe you're in a point where like you've hit rock bottom. You're in the darkest point of your journey right now. I just want to let you know it's temporary. And then Vital Brad is a great example that you could come out of this. And it seems like to me is you turn on a switch and you just gave it over 100% change in your life, and you just kept it going, bro. You know,
Yeah, no, I've experienced a miracle, man, and it
100%.
comes from a lot of different things. But yeah, to be talking to you, I mean, having a mentor, someone that I joined the business you were involved in, and being able to follow you and your leadership,
Thank you, bro.
has been a huge factor in my turnaround. So
Wow.
yeah, it's just important to surround yourself with like-minded, like-hearted people that are on a path, a few steps ahead of you, and then just do what they're doing.
Every coach needs a coach, bro. And so I believe in that. I have coaches, and just like take a look at the great athletes, like all of them had coaches. It's like the enemy of success is pride. And if we could just eliminate that, no matter how much success you've had in the past or where you are right now, is if you get around people, who are a couple steps ahead of you, boom, that's really all you need to have big breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last couple questions. So a big part of what I believe will help people step into the golden age and break out of the matrix is how they think.
Mm-hmm.
And how I define it is it's goal achievement, right? So the way we think actually helps us achieve goals. So it's not about setting goals, because everyone sets goals, but very few people achieve goals, right? Even if you think about New Year's resolutions, right? Is, most people give up within a couple weeks. And so big part of my brand and then what I do in my coaching is helping people think like a successful person so they can achieve their goals. And so, that's my question for you is like, what is the biggest piece of advice you can give to the audience in how to think like a successful person? Because you definitely obviously think like a successful person because you're on this like track to success right now.
Yeah, love it. No, our philosophy, the way we think, the way we see success makes a difference. And I'd say one big thing that anyone can apply for a long time in my life, I did truly think that the little things didn't matter. I was always swinging for home runs, to be honest with you. If I was going to do something, I wanted to go big. And, a lot of times I wouldn't take action. I wouldn't get started. And what I've really learned is changing the philosophy is that the simple things, the little things matter. The little things add up to success. And then one other thing that actually has really helped me quite a bit is breaking my year down into 12 weeks. There's a book called The 12-Week Year, and I'm on my third set of 12 weeks this year. I'm on week 2 of but anyway, it's just breaking down the year into 12 weeks and setting your goals 12 weeks out. And then each week, you've got you score each week, you've got your requirements, things you want to get to, and then the ultimate goal. I've just found personally a lot more success with chunking down my goals into that 12 weeks, that roughly 90-day increment. And just showing up, man, consistency.
Yep.
It's not sexy, but just doing the little things day in and day out, being patient, trusting the process that you're going to get there, get clear on what you want, and then do the activities. And it's only a matter of time. So, yeah.
Man, there's a saying out there that really helped me that aligns with what you just said. The question is, how do we eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time.
Totally. Yeah.
But it's like, it's a funny metaphor because who eats elephants? But it's just like, imagine you eat an elephant one bite at a time. Is like, eventually you could eat the whole entire elephant, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's like, I like to say overnight success takes a decade.
Right. Yeah. No, that's so true. And it's kind of something new I'm realizing in my life and trying to learn how to be patient. And, we're in a society of I want it and I want it now and instant gratification, and overcoming that and just the slow and steady eventually gets you there. So
yeah, I love that, bro.
Yeah.
So, all right. So dude, I feel like we went so deep with your story. Tons of takeaways, identity, how to think like a successful person. I want to leave the audience with like something tactical that they can actually go and implement. I believe that's kind of like the pinnacle of success. Once we have this foundation, is like, okay, what is the actual like tactical execution that we need to take action on? And so, number one is, what is something that you're working on right now for tactical execution? And then what is like a small piece of advice you could give someone just so they could take the next step towards creating and developing their personal brand, and then what they're creating for the world?
Yeah. One huge thing that has changed everything for me has been, in the Bible, there's a King Solomon, the richest man that ever lived. He basically asked God for wisdom. He could have had anything. He could have had money. He could have had, anything. He asked God for wisdom. And it kind of clicked to me, rather than seeking or making my goal money, make my goal wisdom, make my goal knowledge. And so I've been diving deep. I've been committed to still reading 10 pages a day of nonfiction books. I've finished several books this year. And I've also adjusted from listening to music to listening to podcasts and audiobooks.
Yeah.
And so I would say that's one piece of, if you're not doing it right now, you get 10 pages a day of a nonfiction book in. It is amazing. In 30 days, you'll read 300 pages. You'll gain knowledge that will change your life.
For sure.
Maybe the 10 pages in the day won't be life-changing, but as you do it for a month and you gather a whole book, you could gain a nugget that changes your life. So seek wisdom, and then I believe fortune will follow.
Yeah.
Just from the things that you learn and the things that you gain from the wisdom will create what you need to gain fortune.
Wow.
And so I'd say, start reading 10 pages a nonfiction book a day. I don't know why I'd like to fall asleep. No, it's not good. I used to like to fall asleep and throw a Netflix on and just I would never get through it, but I'd fall asleep. I've stopped doing that. Now I actually just listen to podcasts as I fall asleep, which is still probably not a great idea, but better than Netflix.
They call it unconscious mind programming. I've been doing that for like 5 years now, where I have 7-8 hour like positive self-talk audios that I'll just play in the background as I sleep, and it reprograms our unconscious mind. It's because like we're in, I believe, theta, the first 7 years of our life, where we're being programmed by our environment. But then after 7 years old, we have this filter where we start consciously deciding what kind of information that we want to take in and take out, or keep out. But we gotta, most people are programmed for like mediocrity just because of that. That's what the Matrix just does to us. And so we want to put ourselves in a position where we actually begin reprogramming ourselves for success. So I actually think it's a great thing that you go to bed listening to podcasts, bro, because you're consuming all this positive information even as you're sleeping,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I found one the other night. It was like 11 hours long, and it was, positive affirmations. And I feel like I was awake the whole night. Like I didn't sleep it up. Like I was just like all throughout the night, like, oh, it's still going. Oh, it's still, I was like, maybe it programmed something subconsciously, but no, just, getting rid of Netflix. It doesn't do me any good, and just trying to gain knowledge. And it has made a big difference in the way I think and the way I see the world. Yeah. So that'd be first thing. Yeah.
So good. If you guys being on this listening to this podcast, even right now, you're already like executing on this advice that Brad just gave. Is you're acquiring wisdom. So key, bro. Yeah.
And I would definitely say, what else could I say? Tactical. Believe it or not, meditation. Meditation. Take the time out. It seems like you think, oh, I'm going to pause for 15 minutes. Fall behind in my day. What a waste of time. No, it's something to taking that time out and getting clearing the thoughts. It takes me, sometimes 5 or 10 minutes to actually get to the silent place. I've actually recently been doing a form of meditation called japa, where you actually, focus on your breath, but you use the sound. I guess I'll do it. Just like AH, like ah sound. Just focus on the sound, When your mind starts wandering, you start coming across thoughts. Yeah, go back to the sound, but definitely something to meditation. So I'd say that's definitely
Yeah,
tactical.
man. Yeah, I meditate almost every day, and I believe in it. It's just like you reset your intention. You're able to give yourself a break in between different tasks, right? It helps you clear your head, clear your mind. Yeah, I believe in it for sure. I think it's very important, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say just decide to do a personal brand. Make that decision and
Mm.
then
Yeah.
do the small things every day, take the steps, gain knowledge, listen to Ryan's podcast. Yeah, I mean, just decide today. You're seeing this video, no accidents. Just take the baby steps and be patient.
100%. Yeah. If you guys want more information on personal branding, you can go to my website, Ryan Allen Bell, and then you could subscribe to the newsletter right there, and essentially just diving deeper into content like this for sure. Personal branding, breaking out the matrix, stepping into the golden age, and just have more of that wisdom.
So
So,
good.
Vital Brad, this has been awesome, bro.
Yeah,
You're,
man.
you're the man. So, yeah, let's say people on here, they loved it. They want more of your content. Where's the best place they can find you at, man?
Yeah, YouTube, a Vital Brad 2.0, TikTok, Vital Brad, almost at 100,000 followers on TikTok. So
Wow.
just push me
Let's
over.
go.
Instagram, Vital Brad,
Yeah.
Facebook, yeah, all the platforms.
Sick.
I guess it's still in a work in progress, but excited for the journey. Just gonna keep on keeping on. So I'd love like-minded, like-hearted people to join.
Yeah. Let's go, bro. Dude, I love that we had you on the podcast 4 years ago, when it was the Home Based Business podcast. Now we have you here at the launch of the Ryan Allen Bell Show. And dude, I'm positive we'll have you back on again in a year or two, man. Let's
Amazing.
go.
Love it,
Dude.
man. So glad
All
to
right.
be here. So thankful.
Yes, sir. Love you, bro. Thank you for
All right,
coming
man.
out, man.
Love you too.